Hey, this is Mudflaps. I am the GM of a guild called Rats on the server Pagel, and I'm going to give kind of a broad loot guide here today. So I know there are some really awesome loot prio guides out there that target specific items, but I thought I could add something to the conversation on a broader scale. So the main goal of how I'm going to discuss this loot is to make a raid stronger as a unit in an intelligent way that will waste minimal loot, try to combat the RNG, and all the while you want to reward deserving players. Now, this video could be helpful for a loot council, but it's going to be just as helpful for every regular player that's interested in all their options and kind of interested in understanding classes they don't play who may want the same things they want. I'm mainly going to go over Malygos 25-man loot in this, but I will touch on 10-man loot as well. There's some really great stuff in there. So, Wrath loot is going to work a little bit differently than the classic iterations we've just done. As each expansion went on, itemization got a little bit closer to each other, and the options became more plentiful, especially in Phase 1. There's so much, and there are so many options also that are so close to each other. So you would think it would make it easier for loot, having so many options, but I bet it will make it more of a headache for many guilds, especially with the overlap between healers and casters now and other classes that previously didn't care about other people going for that item. So the other thing that's gonna really throw a wrench in things is people like to follow BIS lists to the T, and they're not going to do a lot of research into all the other options, and that's probably not the best way to do things. The main thing to remember when you're having fun with your guild, you're raiding, you're getting rewarded with loot, achieving true BIS is a really fun goal, but an improbable one. Now, that being said, Malygos is full of BIS loot, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So Malygos loot is eye level 226, so that's going to be the peak eye level for this phase. And for Hood of Rationality, you're going to have your Disc Priest and your Shadow Priest desiring this as BIS. It's great for both, right? It's really, really good for both. If there were to be a tiebreaker, the only thing I could say, if you thought both players were equal in your raid, or maybe you run more than that, but Blizzard gave us a subtle socket bonus here. This is 2 MP5, so tiebreaker could be, hey, let's throw this to the Disc Priest, because clearly there was something being said behind the scenes with this socket bonus. So you can go with that. But if you think that your Shadow Priest deserves more, then be my guest, right? That being said, Mantle of Dissemination is Shadow Priest BIS and uncontested. So they're just gonna get it, right? Now after Shadow Priest gets it, maybe you have one or two. After that, no one's really gonna want this. Your locks could use it, but they're going for tier, and tier is gonna be way easier to get than before. So this is one of the things that will be not that much drama, or at least it shouldn't be. But you've got 10-man, you got 25-man, the set bonuses work together from each, and you have badges where you can buy the ones you're missing. So you have 3 avenues to get your tier. So these off pieces where classes use the tier, they'll probably be, we'll call them throwaway items pretty fast. But you don't want to actually throw it away. You want to give this to people who don't have a 226 eye level slot, so that when Old War comes out, it becomes their Flame Leviathan piece, okay? So in case anyone doesn't remember this, in a later part of Wrath, they changed vehicle combat, so the eye level of your character makes your vehicle stronger, not the stats on the items. So all of this Malygos loot, if no one wants it, make sure people are still collecting it. You don't want to make Flame Leviathan harder on yourself for no reason. Blanketing Robes of Snow. These are Disc Priestess, and no one else is really going to care about this. So they're also getting some uncontested bits here. That being said, same rules apply. After they get it, pass it out to people to collect for eye level. Leash of Heedless Magic. Now we're into something that's a bigger item. Demo, Shadow Priest, Mage, Boomkin, they all want it, right? Destruction Warlock want it, but I'm not going to talk about like Destruction Warlocks or BM Hunters or Frost Mages. I don't think they'll be that common. They will exist. They can be fun to play, but I think those will be rare. That being said, coming back to this item, our guild is going to do something pretty similar to what mini guilds are probably going to do, and that is try to funnel your demo lock with high spell power gear, because the buff Dark Pact works in a way where the more they get, the better it is for all of us. And it's a team game. So just like the Survival Hunter, when they got an upgrade, all the Fizz DPS got an upgrade, essentially, right? And that's a really great design, I think, where you get excited for other people to get loot. So I would Prio demo for this, and then after that, Mage, Shadow Priest, Af equal over Disc, and then Boomkin again at the very end of it. So we do loot rules for armor classes. We don't like to throw away loot that is good for people. So if a leather class or a mail class or a plate class, if cloth is their bis, but they have really good options that no one else can wear because it's plate or it's mail or leather, or what, why am I going to throw that away and lessen the overall loot that drops? That's essentially what we're doing, right? We're just throwing loot away if we make everyone go for the cloth, when we could make everyone stronger faster and make the raid better. And then eventually, if you get a bunch of these, of course, pass them out to the other armor classes, and give them that tiny edge over what they had, unless you're in some special circumstance where the person who is the wrong armor type is like your most reliable, highest effort, best player in the guild. Then maybe you want to do things differently. But that is how we will do it, because we don't like to purposely invalidate loot off bosses. Leggings of the Wonton Spellcaster, another contested item. Af, Shadow, Boomkin, Ellie. Again, I would give Af Shadow before Boomkin and Ellie. Boomkin and Ellie have items that other people can't use that are pretty good. So that's how I would tackle this item. Now we're moving into another kind of item, and it's the BOE. An incredibly strong, contested BOE item. So you're gonna have your mage, your shadow priest, your Af, your demo. Everyone's gonna want it, but I'm gonna say that I would not prio this to your demo. They have a really, really great option called Forlorn Wishes. Those boots give almost identical amount of spell power, but the secondary stats, this haste and whatnot, they're going to lose that. So for personal DPS, the demo is going to do a little bit less, but the main point of demo is that root buff. That's why they're getting so much so fast. They're getting rewarded incredibly, right? And if that's the point of it, then give them an item that does the exact same thing for the buff, that is completely uncontested, and let the people who aren't doing that get these, right? There's only going to be so many, unless you got a bunch of big spenders in your guild that can just go to the H and buy someone else's effort. That's always an option. And if you want to reward the people that bought it and now they freed up loot for other things, go for it. That's up to you guys. Spalders of Catatonia. These are a good off piece for Boomkin, but they're going to want tier, and they're going to get tier quickly. So there's no con. If they want it, they can have it. And if they don't, they should still take it for Flame Leviathan, because it'll be higher eye level. Chest Guard of the Recluse. You're going to have your Feral, your Combat Rogue, your Assassination Rogue. They all want this. It's great for all three, honestly. It's so powerful that all three, it would be an excellent choice. If you're going super min-maxy, it's really hard to differentiate. Armor Pen is better for Feral and Combat, but the amount of AP for Assassination, I mean, it's crazy. It's good for all three, so it'll be up to your guild who you want to give this to. The next piece, Frosted Adroit Handguards. Now, this is one Assassination won't go for. They want tier, but Combat will go for it. Feral will go for it. And then you've got the off armors. The Hunters want this, and even the Rep Paladins want this, right? So I would give this to your Feral in Combat before them, right? Unraveling Strands of Sanity. Not much to say about this. This is Resto Druid Bis. That's it. No one else wants this, so easy enough. Blue Aspect Helm. Okay, now we're in the Hunter spec, so Survival MM and also Enhance. It's great for all of them. Now, it's missing Armor Pen that eventually, Marks is going to want to stack, but it's so good that they're going to want this anyways. And you guys can decide what kind of big pieces you want to give to who, when you want to give it. So if this is a huge item and you're, say you prio a hunter on this, well, whatever hunters and enhance are contesting somewhere else, reward your enhance there. Just alternate things so that you're spreading it out. Everyone feels the love for those who deserve it, right? Where it makes sense. And this one, any of those three, it's a great option for. So reward who you think deserves it in the moment. Tunic of the Artifact Guardian. This is a great Flame Leviathan piece. That's what I'll say about this. No one's gonna want it, right? Unfortunately, there are sometimes items that just are just there, right? Less common in Malygos. You're gonna see that a lot more in Sarth and in Nax. There's a lot of meh pieces, right? But Winter Spectacle Gloves. These are Resto Shamans. This is their off piece. Really great piece for them. No contest there. You should give it to them. Boots of the Renewed Flight. This is Hunter Bis. You would think because of the eye level that Enhance might want this, but Armor Pen is such a bad stat for them that they want something out of Nax with a lower eye level. So that is easy for Hunters. You're going to give it to your Hunters first. And that being said, since this is a 226 piece, maybe you say, okay, Hunters are getting this. Maybe we give Enhance this first. You're probably not running more than one Enhance. So it's not like the line is that long. Yeah, so, but up to every guild. Elevated Lair Pauldrons. Okay, you can throw this to Holy Paladin, but they're going to want their tier. Either way, they should collect it for eye level. Now we have a tank piece. All that, there was no tank. stuff. So here we go. This is the bis for blood, prot pally, prot warrior, but you can argue, when it comes to tank stuff, you can argue all sorts of stuff around what's bis. Okay, there are so many gear sets. Are you going for threat? Are you going for mitigation? Are you going, what is the goal for what fight? So this is one of the few pieces that I would say, well, they're all gonna love it for lots of sets. So I would just prior your main tank. Whoever your main tank is, they get it first, and it would be that easy, right? It's a super strong piece. Boots of Healing Energies. This is Holy Paladin, and the only ones that can use it, so there's not a lot of drama here, right? Melancholy Sabatons. Okay, so you got your warriors, Frost Death Knights, and technically your ret. Your ret is looking at some cope leather pieces, but is there always something that they can look for as well? Say that, but honestly, there are exceptions that we make sometimes where plate gets leather. But for this, I would give this to your warrior first before your frost or anything. They need love. They're in a bad spot. And I think warriors are going to surprise people like they do every time. Eventually, they're starting off bad, but gear them up. Like those guys, they need a little bit of love in this first phase. This is a great piece to give to them. And Frost DK doesn't get that much out of Armor Pen, right? Living Ice Crystals. This is a Flame Leviathan piece, right? No one's going to want this. And it's great because it's a trinket slot, so everyone, this is a great thing to throw to everyone for that 226i level slot. And so is this. That being said, if someone needs to cap expertise, sure, they can go for this for now. Unholy could use it for their gargoyle. They could try to do some proc shenanigans. Their gargoyles are just blowing things up right now. So if Unholy wants it, I would give it to them first. Then if someone just needs to expertise cap and they don't have a good trinket, sure. And after that, treat it like Living Ice Crystals and give people eye level. The mount, well, that's up to you guys. Do whatever you want with that. Then we have the neck from Sapphiron that you turn in at Wormrest and here and blah, blah, blah. So this is an interesting one. People argue for all of these. They say, oh, you're casters, oh, you're healers, oh, you're fizz, oh, you're tanks. There's something special about an item that you can guarantee, right? These are things that you should consider, I think, a little more than other pieces. So an example would be you go through the first week and your main tank wants the tank neck off of Kel'Thuzad. Well, it's probably not going to drop your first week. It may never drop. We went through classic knacks and we saw 2 rings never in those 7 months. And there were 2 every week, and we just never saw some of them ever. So you can't guarantee loot. All of us know this is how it works. But for this, say that neck doesn't drop, you can guarantee a solid piece for your tank for the rest of the phase. Your main tank is just set in this slot the very first week if you choose to just throw the first one there. I think that's a great option. I think people should consider it. But it's up to everybody. Do you want to raid around for that item? That's up to you. After that, I go with casters. And I go with casters that aren't demo. Well, you can. This is the same argument as the tank. You can go with demo to guarantee it. So, in that regard, that might be the smartest play. But if you like playing the odds, there is something that gives your raid more spell power. So that's up to you. For us, it's up in the air. We might try to just control things with what we get, and that's a great option, I think. So, but I would give this to casters after your tank, then Fizz, because Fizz options at neck are honestly not that bad. They're pretty close, and then the healer ones, they're actually very close. So although some healers are going to be like, oh, I should get, well, if you really want to reward them, do it. If you think they deserve it, then they deserve it. It's an automatic piece. But they have other options that are way closer than the other people's options. So I would consider that when passing it out. Now, let's go to 10-man loot. Gown of the Spellweaver. I said I wouldn't talk about Destro, but I think this is Destro Abyss. I don't think anyone else wants it. So easy enough, right? In our guild, we're not going to loot council 10-man. We're going to tell people, hey, use common sense. And that's what we did in Karazhan. That's what we did in ZA. Never really had a problem. People are generally pretty knowledgeable because of videos like this. And they say, hey, this is someone's BIS. It's an upgrade for me, but it's their best thing. Am I really going to roll on that against a guildie? Probably not, right? Try to help each other out, right? Footsteps of Malygos, Boomkin BIS. Uncontested beyond that. I mean, I'm sure your Ellie might like it, but this is Boomkin BIS. And Ellie, it's not Ellie BIS. The focusing energy epaulets, only Holy Pallies can use. Not much to say there. This is a weird piece. So, we were talking about the Malygos neck. You can guarantee your demo the Malygos neck first week. That's a great option. And this piece is technically more spell power for the buff for them. So if your guild didn't give the demo that neck, if this drops in there and there's a demo lock in there, please don't take it from them. This is really good for the whole guild. Unless you're in a pug 10-man and, whatever you guys want to do. But in a guild run, if this drops, oh gosh, give it to your demo, right? Now we have a very contested piece. Every Fizz DPS besides the DKs want this. There's no single person that would give it to over any other. Figure it out. It's just great for everybody that wants it for Biz. So I would just let your 10-man figure it out. They can roll it off. They can decide if someone deserves it really badly. I don't know. But you can also buy this on the auction house. Now, that being said, this will probably be one of the most expensive items on the auction house. So keep that in mind. There will be drama. There will be drama on servers. There will be ninjas. There will be nonsense. This item is going to be a whole thing, right? There will be videos about this item. Just watch. You could come back and tell me I was wrong. I guarantee I'm right. There will be drama about this item. A hailstorm. So this, right now, I believe this is BIS for Unholy. For one of their one-handers. But it keeps changing. Every time I hear the Unholy Death Knights talk about what the Sims are doing and what the BIS list, it's been changing considerably. There's a lot up in the air, but generally speaking, it's probably best for them. It's a really great offhand for combat, not their BIS. And then back in the day, Frost used to love this item, but apparently with the talent changes, it doesn't seem like anything in any area is like, yes, we need to go for this that badly. But I will say, if no one in your 10-man wants it, it looks badass, all right? So just consider that. Icefire Scepter, I would give this to a Disc Priest in the group over anyone else. After that, I would give it to a Shadow Priest. Beyond that, anyone. It's a weapon. People like weapons. They're big upgrades for most people. But if you're somehow divvying out the loot in an intelligent way, that would be the Prio I would consider in a group. Now you're looking at one of the best, if not the best, two-handed staff in phase 1. Really wild. It's off a 10-man boss. So all your casters could utilize this. If they, for some reason, know their Prio and they know they're really behind on KT, or if they want to say, hey, don't worry about KT weapons for me, I'm going for the 10-man staff. You know, they want to go for a trinket instead or something. Consider it. It's a really, really powerful 10-man item. So, yeah, consider that. Black Ice. This is, I think it's a slept-on item for Ret Paladins. It's good for warriors. That being said, if you say you're an orc or something, you're clearly going to want the axes from KT 10 or 25, but everyone else, just warrior or Ret Paladin, right? They're really going to, this is a good item. A really good item, actually. I wouldn't just be like, it's not this, don't worry about it. It's really good. And then the second best shield of the phase, behind the one-off KT 25 man. This is a really good item. So, not much drama here. Tanks will get it. Then you have the 10-man version of those Saffron mechs. So, this is just a filler for anyone who wants it. I wouldn't prio a specific person over anyone else. You could free roll it, you could do whatever you want. Biggest upgrade for the person, easy enough, right? Yeah, that is all of the Malygos loot. I hope this was super helpful. If there's anything I missed, feel free to message me in the comments. Tell me some cool ideas about other things that maybe you guys have simmed on some of these items. Anything I'm sleeping on that might be a great item, I'd love to hear about it. So that being said, check out my Twitch, check out this channel. I'm going to keep on making more videos, especially loot videos in the coming days. So thank you very much. See you on the next one.